furball lovers. So today we're going to start in the first command in the command training playlist. This playlist is focusing on, how to train specific commands and how I do them, any tips and tricks that I have for them. This first one is going to be the sit command. So there's a few ways that you can train the sit command. The easiest way that I like to do it generally is with the luring. If you train targeting first, which I'll also do in this playlist, that's very helpful for this because your dog has learned over time to follow your hand. And so you don't even need to have like a food lure. And by food lure, I just mean you have like a little piece of turkey or something in your hand. Your dog is naturally going to want to smell that and follow your hand. And that's what a lure is. Whereas targeting is just teaching your dog how to follow your hand or a pole or something, a tennis ball on the end of a dowel without having a treat in there. So I'll show you luring first, and then I'll explain a couple of other methods that you can utilize to get your dog into the sit position. And once again, refer to my earlier video on the 7 principles or the 7 steps that I use to train any command essentially. And the first one of those is always getting your dog into position. So you can see I've already trained her how to sit, so it's going to be pretty easy for me to get her into position, but I'll show you guys how I get her into position. And then I will tell you if you're having difficulties getting your dog into position, how you might be able to mitigate that. Come here. Good girl. So I put my hand above her head. Good girl. Okay. I mark the behavior and then I release her. And those are always the first 3 steps whenever you're training a command. Good girl. Rump. Good girl. Okay. Okay, so as you can see with her, I've been training this command for a while, and I encourage you to look at the Raising Furball tutorial or playlist if you want to see her progress over time. Good girl. Okay. But with her, getting her in position is very easy, and that's always the first step when you're training a new command. Get your dog into position, mark the behavior, and then release your dog from that. Once you got your dog going into position consistently, you can add that command word, and in this case I just use rump. Good girl. Okay. And then I release her. And those are the most that's how you first train a command, is you focus on those first 4 steps. I would say is getting your dog in a position, marking, okay, and releasing her. And then add in the command word once your dog is consistently falling into position, because you don't want to desensitize your dog to that command word. Okay, so now, okay. If you're having difficulty getting your dog into position, there's generally, I would say 3 main ways that I get my dogs into position. The main way I use is luring. That works 90% of the time with the sit command. If you're having a little bit of difficulty, there's also capturing. And I'll also do a video more about getting your dog into position. Okay. And capturing is when you just find your dog in that position throughout the day. So you could carry around a clicker. You don't even really necessarily need a clicker. You could just use the word good boy, good girl, okay, in order to kind of mark that behavior, because calling your dog good has been associated with the primary reinforcer of attention and praise over so long. So it acts almost like a clicker, okay? But I do like the clicker because it's just kind of specific for training, and it's also much more precise than the word good. Good girl. Okay, so you could do that. Your dog sits into position, you capture that moment, you call them good, and then you praise them, or you could even give them a treat if you have them around you. What's that going to do is it's going to basically make a positive association with your dog getting into that position. At first, they're gonna be like, what the heck, I just randomly got a treat because I was sitting down. And they're not going to make the connection. But if you can do that more and more and more, your dog is going to build a stronger and stronger positive association with being in the sit position. And then you can start to use luring or something like that. There's also molding. And what molding is you reward any progress towards the end goal. So I'll talk about that more in the down command because it's more frequently used there. But what you would do with molding is maybe your dog hunches over a little bit, or it looks like they're going towards the sit position. And if you're having difficulties getting them into the sit position, you could reward any movement towards them getting into the sit position. So that takes a little bit longer. That's why I don't prefer that for the main or primary method for it. And honestly, for 99% of you, luring is going to work just fine. So that's how I train the sit command. She's been doing good at it. I hope you guys follow along inside of my raising verbal journey, and I'll see you next time.